Are you sure you're free? What else would I be doing?
Hey everyone, this is Jeff 11 Bronson, and today I'm doing a video on all of my action figures, my 1/6 scale action figures that I have in my collection. And this was actually a video that was sort of requested or suggested I would do quite a while ago by my good buddy Marty from the Trashed Picture Show. Of course, I'm always happy to oblige. I just was kind of figuring out, okay, how am I going to do it and all that stuff. And right now, I'm actually currently in the process of, I'm going to clear the shelves a little bit and get the figures all, out of the shelves again. And I'm going to rearrange the shelves and position them differently and pose some figures differently. And actually, I'm also going to perform some figure maintenance, because a lot of these guys, especially the ones, my Bond figures in the black suits, they really, they attract dust and hairs and all that stuff. So I got to perform some figure maintenance. And I figured while I'm actually messing and getting the figures out, and then also going to be repositioning them and redoing the shells a little bit, I figured this is the perfect opportunity. Just as I'm getting them out, I'm going to put them in front of the camera, talk about them. So yeah, in this video I'm going to be showing you all of my 1/6 scale action figures, which are quite a bit. A lot of James Bond figures, a lot of non-Bond figures as well. I got a few Eastwoods, I got a few Stallones, Pacinos, Chuck Norris, some Gangster figures, Marlon Brando stuff. So we're gonna go into all of that right now, because this is gonna be a long ass video, trust me, as I'm gonna be showing all of these. So without any further ado, let's go. All right, so we're starting off with some real iconic action guys from the 80s. Sly Stallone, Rambo, Arnie, Terminator, Bruce Willis, Die Hard. That is a custom Bruce Willis, by the way. I'm gonna quickly show you just, again, these three paired up look pretty cool. Bruce is sitting in a chair, talking to Sergeant Al Powell on the portable radio there, holding the Beretta. I suppose I'm just gonna quickly just get this guy up close a little bit. There you go. Not bad for a custom figure. Now, the Beretta looks nice. Radio looks nice if that focuses. Lots of cool detailing on there with some dried up blood on the vest and some dirt and smear, whatever. Really looking grimy. Little band-aid across there. Another cool thing, I do have ankle extenders on them, so if I do have him standing up, he's more in scale with these two. But yeah, when he's sitting down, you do notice the little ankle extensions that I put on. But very cool detail that the feet are bandaged up, because of course famously he walked through some glass without shoes or socks. So yeah, that was of course a pretty famous little thing there in the film. And Die Hard, no need to go too much on Arnie, as I did a full little video on him. Well, I say little video, that was like almost an hour. So no real need to talk about him. He's awesome. It's hot toys, movable eyes, a lot of cool details, full leather outfit. I do want to bring Rambo into focus a little bit. I did do a little video on him, a little short on my feet, which is one of my most watched shorts, but he looks awesome. But the thing is, this 3-0 Rambo never came with a base. So what I did is I ordered a custom base, and which arrived, and that's what I'm putting this figure on. Cool little acrylic display base with the original poster. This is again custom. You have to go to eBay or so, custom figure shops to get this. But yeah, very nicely detailed, nice pattern on there. It says John J. Rambo. Just very nicely done right here, and a clear plastic rod there to put the crotch grabber in. And overall, this base screams much more, nothing on the bottom, but you do have some, yeah. This base just really screams more high-end than the figure does without, I guess, because if you put them on there, I don't know, for me, this base that I got for this guy, again, it's a custom made. it makes a world of difference on your display base seeing him standing on actually something like that. I do always put the feet a little bit to the side so you do have the image of Sly there. And again, that's representing him as he's looking here, because that's the look that this figure, that's the look that this figure is based on, is that ending bit on the poster with the tank top and the bullet belt, and obviously holding the big ass M60 machine gun. So yeah, I guess those are my 3 big 80s action heroes. Sly, Arnie, and Bruce. We got the trio of Planet Hollywood right here. These 3 would fit nicely into a display case in the Planet Hollywood restaurant. But anyway, let's move on to some other action figures. Let's go with a generation before these 3. Let's go to people like Clint Eastwood, Chuck Norris, and Charles Bronson. Alright, so Clint Eastwood, 3 of them, Chuck Norris, and a custom Charles Bronson. Now, for Eastwood, this one here, the Preacher, this is the officially licensed and sanctioned Clint Eastwood figure in yeah, by Sideshow Collectibles, and that's a very, very nice figure. I did a little quick unboxing video when I first got this figure a few years ago now. Excellent tailoring on the outfit and the costume, and a great head sculpt for Clint, and just all around great details. Now Dirty Harry there, and I guess Blondie, or whichever of the 3 characters he's playing in a trilogy you want to go with. These are custom, and I do have both of these on ankle extenders, so they are more in scale with this one, which correctly kind of captures Clint's lanky, long body. Got ankle extenders which are covered by the pants slightly, because it's riding up a little bit. Again, custom base for the Blondie. I still have to get a custom base. Actually, I think I will get a custom base for this one as well. Now, there's still a high difference because this base is still pretty much taller than these 2. But if you just picture it without that ridiculous, they are more in line. Especially that when I put really big ankle extenders on Blondie, because, well, the option is there because of the boots. The boots go up until here anyway, so I just plucked ankle extender. And again, a custom base. Blondie, the Benny. Obviously, yeah, I guess we're gonna call this figure Blondie. A cool little wooden oval, well, a faux wood. It's a wooden design. Display base there to get the Benny ugly. And yeah, again, I put ankle extenders on Blondie to make him a bit more taller. Now, the reason for that in particular is I always have this on the shelf next to the Preacher, which is more tall, the way Clint should be. And then Dirty Harry I got separate from the cowboy figures, but I did put some ankle extenders on him as well, just to add some height. Because let's face it, Clint Eastwood is a tall guy, or he was a tall guy. Of course, he's 95 now. He's probably shrunk a little bit, as we all do with when we mature. But yeah, this gives us a nice close-up there of Clint as Dirty Harry. Yeah, this one I got pretty much always, you know, right by my Stallones and my Schwarzenegger. Yeah, the guys in the background, Chuck Norris, and of course Charles Bronson. So let's remove Eastwood from the foreground and bring those 2 in the foreground. Yeah. All right, so Chuck Norris and Charles Bronson, the channel icon and mascot, I guess. Now Chuck Norris is Caustic Plastic, officially licensed. You know, missing in action, obviously. James Braddock, Colonel Braddock figure, holding the grenade launcher in his other hand. By the handle, he's holding the M60 with real sort of metal material for the bullet belt. And the reason I know is because he's standing on a fully magnetic base. There's magnets in his feet, and when you take these out and drop them under, they stick to it. Yeah, it's magnetic. This guy comes with so much. Here's the little pouch that the grenade launcher was in. I filled that up with some of his other accessories to make it look like there's still something in there. Piece of barbed wire around, which is also metal, and it attaches to the base. Cool little plaque there of missing in action. And overall, it's just a awesome figure of Chuck Norris. There we go. There we have him on a little close-up. There you go. The beard looks awesome, the hair looks awesome, obviously all sculpted plastic. He's got the bandana underneath. He was riding right in on the Rambo craze. Even though I think wasn't the original Missing in Action 84, so it beat Rambo Part 2 anyway. Well, Part 2 by a little bit, but anyway, let's pan the camera and a little down because Bronson is a bit short. Maybe he's a little too short now with all the ankle extenders I've added to the Eastwoods. But yeah, Bronson wasn't the biggest guy as I think everybody knows. But yeah, this is a custom, fully custom, like custom painted and stuff. Like I did nothing. This is how I got it. And for it being a full, custom job, not really sanctioned or licensed or whatever, I think whoever did this, they did a great job with both painting and first of all sculpting the Bronson face right there. Now I can't get much closer. Again, I'm not really being helped by the lighting and stuff today, but yeah, it's obviously Bronson, representing him from Death Wish. If you look at the outfit he's got on, the outfit is awesome with the white sort of lapels, which is accurate to his overcoat in Death Wish. Not sure about the shirt and tie, but that could be accurate. It's been a while since I watched the original Death Wish at this point, but yeah, no base for him, so I got him on the Goldfinger sideshow base, but Pussy Galore, no less. But yeah, I got him holding a little black revolver. I think that's also the Pussy Galore revolver, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, overall I think it's an accurate representation of Bronson from Death Wish. And hey, sadly there is no officially licensed Bronson figure out there, not at this point anyway. If any company ever does a Death Wish or a Mr. Majestic, whatever, or Mechanic Bronson figure, I'll be right over that. I'll be all over that in a heartbeat right away. So. But as for now, this is my little, I guess, collection of 70s icons. Yeah, Chuck Norris got his start in the 70s too, but obviously big in the 80s with Cannon and stuff. But yeah, Eastwood, Bronson, and Norris. Well, as we are in the 70s, and we did already have a Stallone figure with Rambo, I guess I'm going to pull out my Rocky figure again. I'm not going to go too in-depth about the Rocky figure because I've already covered him on numerous occasions because I'm a huge Rocky fan, but let's bring him out just for prosperity's sake anyway. So yeah, Rocky Balboa, Sly Stallone shop figure, I think with some help from Caustic Plastic, who also did the Chuck Norris figure. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, again, do I need to go over this guy too much? I absolutely love him. This is hands down the best Stallone in my collection. It's hands down the best Rocky figure on the market currently, in my opinion. Just the amazing details from every angle. This is Sly as Rocky Balboa. They nailed every single aspect about this figure, all the way down to the smallest details. A little band-aid there over the eye. He did come with an alternate head sculpt, which I do have at the ready, because I'm planning on doing some custom working maybe with that head sculpt. Let me pan down and get you that you can see more of his outfit. But he came with this outfit, this head sculpt without the head. Now, if you remember from my Terminator 2 Hot Toys figure unboxing, or well, yeah, it's kind of unboxing, but a quick little view at it. Well, again, it was a long video, but no, he came with a spare gray t-shirt, which I probably will not be putting on Terminator because it's too much of a hassle to swap out the t-shirts. Now, what's Rocky wearing here underneath the jacket? It's a gray t-shirt, right? A little similar to the one that came with the Hot Toys Terminator. So with this head sculpt and that t-shirt, all I need now is just a pair of black jeans. Maybe if I can find some brown boots like those, and I can have another Rocky figure. And of course I need a body. I need a body to match it, but then I can have another Rocky figure with just this head sculpt, which is another cool head sculpt. It's without the fedora. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get a custom figure done using this head sculpt, that gray t-shirt, the gray Terminator t-shirt, and then yeah, just get a body and the rest of the outfit, the pants and the boots. So that's what I'm planning on doing with the alternate head sculpt for this Rocky figure. So I guess I want to talk about that more than actual this, because again, I don't want to beat this horse to death any more than I already did. I've did plenty of videos showcasing on this. I guess I just want to show a little good old podcast there again. And this diorama base, which is excellent. It's big, but it's excellent. I usually do have some other characters occupying this base as well, because yeah, again, it's a hefty, big piece of real estate. So yeah, we do have Butkus always with him, but maybe I'll move these to the foreground, and I have like you know, leaning to the railings, maybe Bronson, because again, it's that 70s kind of street urban look. So yeah, Rocky Balboa, Slice the Loan Shop. Let's go on to some other action figures. That's actually have the last non-James Bond action figure, because I think we're almost there already with the non-007 action figures. And I guess last, but I guess not least by any stretch, is a superhero character. So let's go. Okay, so I did forget about my gangster figures, aka the Godfather and Scarface, which I'll be bringing out after this one. But this one, of course, I don't think she needs any introduction. It's Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I guess we'll just mix it up between this one and go back to the 70s and 80s again before we go to Bond. But yeah, I totally forgot about my awesome Godfather and Scarface figure. But anyway, Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, sculpted hair, but it looks really cool. Strands and stuff, little separate things. The tiara is removable, of course. Everything is movable, even though it doesn't seem like it, because this is a fully silicone, seamless body. Magnetic gauntlets, so these little bits that make it look like she's being shot at. You actually have little magnets on the back, and you just attach that because it's magnetic. So other than that, yeah, this is a Wonder Woman 84 figure. I should also add, it's not Wonder Woman 2017. This is from the sequel, and there's a little base for it. I guess I haven't shown this figure too much yet. So again, cool detailing on everything. Comes with the lasso and a rolled up lasso as well there. So but yeah, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Now, I'm not too big on superheroes, as everybody knows, but I do love this actress, and I do love her character as Wonder Woman, and I found this for a really good deal. Again, this is a Hot Toys figure, and yeah, I just couldn't really pass up on it. I was like, yeah, why not, for that price. Now, the only other superheroes, I think I said this before, but the only other superheroes I would be even remotely interested in adding would be maybe a Christopher Reeve Superman, a Michael Keaton Batman, and if we go even more beyond those two, maybe if we're talking about maybe villains, a Jack Nicholson Joker, maybe a Heath Ledger Joker, maybe, but Jack is my favorite, and I guess because I love her as well a hell of a lot, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, maybe one of those figures. But for now, this is my first and only superhero DC character action figure in the collection, and she's a nice piece on the shelf. I mean, the outfit is really eye-catching with the very metallic sort of red skirt. It's actually like a very, I don't know what the material is, that's weird, but again, with the gold and the silver brace gauntlets and stuff, it's just a very showy piece on the shelf, to be honest. She definitely grabs your attention. So anyway, let's go to my gangster figures. So that's the Godfather and Scarface. Here we go. So yeah, we got the Gangster's Paradise right here. We got two Al Pacinos, of course, one representing there Tony Montana in the background. Here we have Michael Corleone, and we have Don Vito Corleone, played by Marlon Brando in the original Godfather. And a cool little display table. I guess I want to focus on that thing for the king with the Godfather Marlon Brando figure. But this little table, I always put some accessories on there. Now this gun is the gun that came with my custom Charles Bronson figure, and I was like, nah, Bronson didn't carry a 357 Magnum, so let's put that in the Gangster's Paradise. Let's put that on the table, you know, for tough negotiations, I guess. We got some cash, we got a couple of packs of cigarettes, we got booze, we got a candle, we got that rotary phone, of course. We got even some gold bars that came with some Bond figures, which we're going to be covering next, is the Bond section. But yeah, some gold bars from Fort Knox. You know, these guys, yeah. I guess we're going to go to Pacino first as Michael. Michael Corleone, played by Al Pacino. This is kind of representing him from Godfather Part 2, of course. And I got him smoking a little cigar there in his left hand. To our right, but his left, which is the cigar that came with Tony Montana, which is in the background, which we're going to get to. Now, for this guy, I have a custom shirt, actually. This is present toys. This is not a licensed figure, but I did get a custom new shirt for him, because the shirt he came with originally was really staining for some reason. I don't know what kind of material they used for that, but I was like, oh no, that shit's got to go. So I got him a nice, crisp new white shirt with magnetic sort of closing on it. So yeah, it's nicely seamless. The cuffs are showing a little bit. He's got the gold watch, like I said. He's having a drink of whiskey there in his right hand. And overall, yeah, this is a really cool representation of Pacino that we get as close as we humanly can right now with this with these lighting conditions. Maybe I can actually create a better lighting. Hang on. All right, so if that makes any difference at all, I got the ring light on these guys a little bit now. So, but yeah, Michael Corleone, Al Pacino. Let's pan over to the right. We have his father, the awesome Marlon Brando as Don Vito Corleone. Now the cat wants to go out of his lap. Stay there, pussy. Yeah, I mean, this guy, that's Marlon Brando all the way. Correct proportions, shape, body type, and especially just that head sculpt. That head sculpt is a museum piece, in my opinion, with how lifelike. Now again, we're gonna try and get as close as we humanly can. That is a museum piece as far as I'm concerned, that head sculpt. You come to my house on the day of Madonna's wedding. It's like I can hear him talk without him even opening his mouth. It's like, damn. Let's see if we can kind of hover a little bit and get you in a different angle. There you go. Now look at that. Look at that. Tell me that that is not Marlon Brando as Don Vito Corleone right there. Go ahead. How dare you? I mean, yeah. Again, black suits, they're always gonna be catching dust and hairs and stuff, so this one is overdue for a little bit of a touch-up. Gotta try and clean his suit again. I do this regularly with these suited figures, but it's been a while now. We got a cat in the lab. Of course, we all know the story about the cat on the Godfather set. It was a stray cat that Brando found. We got a rose there on the lapel, very nice touch. Obviously, the collar with that sort of, yeah, what do you call that collar style where it goes over the tuxedo bow there a little bit and the little flaps. But yeah, I mean, this is an awesome piece, and of course it goes nicely side by side with Pacino. Even though this is Godfather 2 Pacino, you can still be like, you know, this is that one scene in the first Godfather where Brando's kind of advising him. Again, I know Brando wasn't wearing a tuxedo there for that scene, but you know, hey, it's the two Godfathers, right? Now, say hello to my little friend. And we have, we go to the 1980s. Another iconic Pacino performance. Tony Montana, Scarface. Now, I'm gonna bring him to the foreground and move the two Dons to the background, and let's go over Scarface, Tony Montana. Okay, Sosa, you wanna fuck with me? You fuck with the best. Okay, so yeah, we have Tony Montana played by Al Pacino again. Obviously, it's gonna look different to Michael because Pacino was about 10 years younger there. Just about, I guess. Yeah, Godfather 2 was 74. Yeah, this was 83, so yeah, let's say about 9 years difference. Pacino's a bit more aged. By the time 83 came around, he was if you read his autobiography, which I have, you know, he was, you know, doing a lot of alcohol and stuff. He was not in the best place in the early 80s, film-wise, career-wise as well. So the M16 he's holding, it's the M16 that came with the 3.0 Rambo figure. Obviously, you know I got him in this pose from the end of the film, even though he wasn't wearing this suit at the end of the films. But I'm working on maybe getting the black suit version, and I will swap it out with this one. Now I do want to, again, before I go down, actually, let's just quickly give him another quick close-up. There you go. So that's Pacino in Scarface, obviously, and yeah, he does have the scar on his face. Little bit of side eye. Never really was a fan of one eye kind of going to the right and the other eye. Well, again, I guess the other eye is in motion too. It kind of they're both going this direction, but I don't know. The eyes. I wish this guy had a rolling eye system, and I would just center those eyes. Other than that, the sculpt I think is absolutely fantastic, especially for Pacino in this particular role. I mean, that profile there, that's absolutely Pacino. He's got the nose. The nose is unmistakably Pacino's hawk, you know, Italian type nose, which is of course weird because he played a Cuban in this film, but never mind about that. You probably are noticing the little indentations for the keen viewers right there, and on the other side as well. Sorry about my finger close up there. He did come with sunglasses to put on, but obviously because I'm going for him in this pose in the final battle stance, I opted not to go with the sunglasses. And you know, again, if you zoom out, it's really when you go very, very close that you will really notice that. So yeah, obviously no sunglasses for this bit. Plus, sadly, the sunglasses also broke, so I won't be able to put them on the figure anymore. But you know, again, I wasn't really gonna display this guy too much with those sunglasses anyway. But now let's go down. Again, the suit, it's fantastic. It's got a slight bit of, I guess, pinstripe in it. It's got like a stripy pattern through it. The handkerchief is in there, or the handkerchief. Again, lapels, everything, the collar, it all is accurate to how the fashion was in the early 80s for this film and throughout the majority of the 80s. I want to focus your attention again on this custom base that I've had done, well, not had done, but that I've ordered for this guy, which again adds class, fucking class, you know, as we're doing gangster figures to this figure. Yeah, Scarface, Tony Montana, the little tiger one. Obviously this is the interior of the mansion, and again where the final scene and stuff takes place. So I think this is it's an acrylic display piece, display base with a clear plastic rod where the crotch grabber is in. And yeah, so once I get the black suit variant, which I haven't even mentioned that this is a non-licensed Tony Montana, neither is Michael Corleone non-licensed either. That's Tony Montana and Michael are both from Present Toys, which is a third-party figure company. But so yeah, these are non-licensed, but they look fucking amazing if you ask me. But no, as soon as I get the Present Toys black suit variant of this, of course he comes with the correct gun as well, so I'll be able to get this one off this display stand and get it, I guess get another, because there were a few awesome custom display bases for a Tony Montana figure out there if you're just looking for it. But no, once I get the black suit, I will take a really good look at how I pose this guy, because this is definitely the pose that the black suit guy should have, the black suit variant. You know, I really paid attention to how his knees were bent and how his feet were positioned and stuff, and this is almost exactly the pose. I got it almost perfect there, which of course the famous moment where he says, you know, say hello to my little friend. That is absolutely the pose that I'm going for here, you know, the bend in the arms and stuff. Now, if I get the black suit, I will meticulously replicate this pose for the black suit and then swap him out, because this guy did come also with a chair. So once I get the black suit version, I will get this one, you know, sitting among the other two awesome gangsters there and sitting in the chair. So that's my plan for when I do get the correct Tony Montana for the well, for this pose, let's say, and also I guess for this display stand. I guess I don't need a different display stand if I get this Tony in the chair, because, well, yeah, this one will do nicely for either. This one does nicely for this one, and this one does nicely for the black suit variant. And the black suit variant also sits nicely in the chair, I guess, because that's also where he spends a lot of the final act in that chair before he, you know, gets his little friend out. So yeah, I spent way too long on the Gangster's Paradise. Let's move on to the toughest, nastiest, brutalist British secret agent with a license to kill. I'm talking about Bond. James Bond. So yeah, we got Sideshow Collectibles, James Bond figures right here. We got the main guys here before we go to the sort of variants and the villains and the Bond girls and stuff, because Sideshow did Bond girls as well. So let's just go over the first few main figures, tuxedoed figures of the man himself that I have. So Sean Connery, James Bond from Dr. No. This is a very old figure, 2002 or something, 2003, early 2000s, mid 2000s is when this whole line came out. And I mean, for 2002, I think it still holds up. That definitely, there's no denying that's Sean Connery from Dr. No right there. This is again a younger Connery, of course. Dr. No was his first outing. And yeah, the tuxedo looks great. The shape of the bow tie, that's pretty much spot on to how the bow tie looked there in '62. And the tuxedo itself, again, that little black lapel is like a velvet kind of material. Now again, for this being 2002, again, so many stuff about us aged pretty poorly. Like the hands and stuff, the hands really aren't much detail and stuff, but, and again, they're all on these kind of similar bases, these little round bases. Again, there it says Sean Connery as James Bond from Dr. No. And yeah, 2002 is when this came out, because that's when the copyright goes there. So for the 40th anniversary of the series is when these figures came out. And again, it still looks pretty damn good if you ask me. Now let's go a little bit around. Yeah, the head sculpt, again, you have that in the old days, you had those little seams going across the middle of the head sculpts, which really hasn't aged that well. But hey, I don't think anybody's going to be looking at the figure from this angle. You're going to be looking at it like so. And yeah, let's zoom out a little bit. Again, I got most of the figures we already showed on the floor, because I'm rearranging my shelves after this to try and add some more space and stuff to it. But yeah, this is what the group of the main Bond actors look like, and I have them in this pose with the well, pretty much the pose that is on that base right there. If you can see, I kind of went for that pose. So anyway, let's go on. These two are this was a different separate line. These came out 2006. This was, I think, the Legacy collection, where they had some alternate versions of the figures, because the only other figure of George Lazenby from On Her Majesty's Secret Service, of course, you can only go for one film for him. But no, the regular version of him is the one in the blue sort of suit, ski suit, assault commando suit, which he uses in the attack again, attack on Piz Gloria at the end of the film. But here we have a Lazenby tuxedoed figure, which goes nicely with the other ones. So yeah, a little paint chip there on the nose. I'm noticing that a lot with these older figures. Sometimes they have some paint chips on the nose in particular. But yeah, again, 2006 is this one, so a little bit of an updated sculpt, and well, maybe not sculpt, definitely updated paint works on the majority of the parts, like the hands and stuff, a little bit more detailed. And again, that's the base for it. It doesn't even say that this is from On Her Majesty's Secret Service. But again, for this one, you can't really go with a different film for him, sadly. But anyway, let's go over to my personal favorite James Bond, which is Roger Moore, and this in the white tuxedo, which makes him stand out from the other guys, the other fellows, as Lazenby would say. Yeah, Roger Moore. This is again 2006, so repainted head sculpt a little bit, and again, I think it looks a lot like Roger Moore holding the wall for PPK, the white tuxedo, which is pretty much representing him from The Man with the Golden Gun again, because it's that double-breasted kind of dinner jacket, and very wide bell bottoms for the pants, which of course it was the 70s, so that's accurate. And yeah, that's good old Roger Moore as 007 again. And yeah, I'm pretty much saying that this is from the Man with the Golden Gun. Yeah, because of that the style of the dinner jacket and stuff. So yeah, but it's cool to have a white suited Bond among the well, the black tuxedoed variants, which is pretty much how they all are. But anyway, let's move these to the background to see if I can do this on camera without having one fall over. Yeah, it's Sean to the back. Let's bring you out front, move you there. And there we go, got the last two before we go to the other variants of Bond figures that we have. So yeah, of course we have Timothy Dalton from License to Kill. I got a license to kill. And yeah, I mean, I like the sculpt on Dalton, but I'm not in love with it. There is some stuff wrong with it. Like the eyebrows, I've always felt a little too thick and a little too cartoony, and it looks like plant leaves on you know, that brown plant leaves for his eyebrows. And of course, this is License to Kill, so they went for with the what fans refer to as the Dracula sort of hairstyle. But you know, again, and yeah, the seam across the middle of the hair, but for the most part, I think it's a good representation of Dalton. I think he's definitely in need of an update. So if Hot Toys, who now has the license, is done with Daniel Craig, please give us a updated, new, improved Dalton, because yeah, Dalton is so underrated as Bond. License to Kill is one of the best films in the franchise, in the series, in my opinion. Yeah, if this figure got a new one, I would definitely be all over it. Speaking of which, actually I do think this guy's in dire need of an update as well. Pierce Brosnan. Now I think he fares a bit better compared to Dalton, when you, especially when you have them side by side like this. But yeah, he could definitely use better paint. I mean, I think the underlying sculpt is good. I mean, it definitely captures the facial features of Brosnan. Then maybe you shouldn't be living here. Yeah, sorry, just got taffin in my brain right now. But no, it's got the underlying facial features of Brosnan, but I guess he could definitely use more details and a better paint job to enhance those facial details, like the cheekbones and what have you. The side is good here. The side, of course, he's the Bond that's carrying the more modern Walther P99 instead of the PPK. And yeah, this is representing him from Diner Day. At least that's what the display stand says. And this one definitely came out in 2002 as well. And that's also the same for Dalton. No, Dalton is 2003, it says. Okay. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, having all of these on the shelf next to each other, there's definitely, you can say, oh cool, there's Connery, there's Lazenby, there's Moore, there's Dalton, there's Brosnan. But again, if you take them under the lens and examine them individually, especially if you really put a if you put a close-up on Dalton, it's like, oh yeah, it's that room for improvement. Lazenby is really good, but again, this is 2006, more enhanced, paintwork. The same goes for Roger. But that Connery, that has definitely stood the test of time. For that being 2002, that still looks amazing. At least that's in disc collectors and fans' opinion, of course. So you might have a different opinion, and that's totally fine. So now let's go with some other variants of Bond figure. Actually, let's go through the Bond figures that I have per film. So let's start in the 60s. Let's stick with Connery, because there is another Connery film of which I have a few figures. So let's go ahead and bring out the figures representing Goldfinger. Goldfinger, 1964. This is what fans often point to as the quintessential Bond film, and you know what? It's hard to argue with that. It's very, very hard to argue with that. before we get to Bond and obviously Pussy Galore, let's bring out one of the elements that makes this film so damn iconic, which is Oddjob. And yeah, this is again Sideshow, again probably 2002. Let's take a look at the copyright on there. Let's see, what does that say? 2003. Damn it, that base is very dusty, by the way. Again, so figure maintenance is a thing, and it's something that I have been overdue for. I've been slacking in. So, but yeah, he's come of course with the bowler hat. He's got a hand specifically molded to hold it, and of course, yes, you do have the focus on that. You do have the metallic brim. Oh, well, it's painted to look like the metallic brim anyway, and this hat is dusty, so let's wipe the dust off that logo while we are handling it. There we go. And let's see if we can actually put that back in his hands. Yeah, he has a hand that's just specifically molded to hold it. Again, I'm not getting it in perfect right now, but for 2003, I must say this is probably the best in Sideshow's entire line of Bond figures. You know, be that villains, Bond himself, or the Bond girls, because that is absolutely Harold Sakata all the way. Great paint job on that. Actually, that looks really super awesome. And again, I'm seeing that he's such a dust magnet. Just look at all the dust on his forehead. I'm definitely going to be giving him a little cleaning after this video. Again, I'm going to be rearranging my shelves anyway, so I'm gonna give these guys all a little bit of a good cleanup, so, and get the dust off of him. So let's move Oddjob back to the side, and let's bring in Bond and Pussy Galore. Now Bond is what, 2017, 18 when this came out. Big Chief Studios. We got a new company doing an excellent job of Connery and in Goldfinger here, if you ask me. Again, I'm gonna probably go free floating with the camera to get the right angle. There we go. Yeah, that is absolutely Sean Connery from Goldfinger all the way, and he actually he's infamous for having a little weird situation around the nose area. If you can see a little dot on the front of the nose. Yeah, pretty much all the Goldfinger figures that Big Chief Studios put out, they had this issue with the nose. Very infamous issue known among the collectors, but other than that issue, I think it's a great sculpt, and it's just a great looking piece overall with the silver or gray suit. And again, this guy came with a lot of details. You actually do have the Homer tracking device, I think underneath that shoe if I'm not mistaken, but of course I can't show you. Yeah, this is the Big Chief Studios sort of base with a light up function. It will light up this name plaque area, but I don't have the batteries installed right now, and it doesn't really serve too much of a purpose anyway. It doesn't really, but yeah, of course I'm holding the mint julep, and the figure did not come with a Walther PPK, but I have so many Bond figures from Sideshow. I have plenty of Walther PPKs right now, so I have him holding the PPK. And speaking of characters which have again a nose issue, this one has a little paint chip on the nose, but Arnold Blackman as Pussy Galore clinging onto his arm. I think that's kind of a cool pose to have Bond with the Bond girl from the film again, holding on to him. I got her left arm wrapped around him, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I don't know how I'm actually doing this pose, because she is absolutely not standing on a stand. Oh yeah, she's holding on to him, kind of, barely. I guess Bond is doing most of the work on holding her up, actually, but yeah, I do love her outfit, which, let's see, can I, okay, there we go. Yeah, so that's kind of how I have that set up, but I do love her outfit, like very velvet feeling. Again, she also needs a little clean with the gold. I do love the gold little cuffs, and of course the gold vest that she is wearing underneath it all. So underneath the mango tree, wrong film. There we go. So kind of balance her, and you can definitely get that pose. Connery looking cool, like a poster shot right there, right? So it's like if he just dropped that gun a little bit and didn't hide her face, that would be like a poster shot of Goldfinger. That could be a poster shot of Goldfinger, I should say. Anyway, we spent too much time on the Goldfinger trio. Let's go to Connery's film after this, which is Thunderball, which is going to be much quicker because we only have one figure from Thunderball, which is a cool figure, so here we go. And he strikes like Thunderball. Yeah, so this is obviously Connery in a scuba suit, which I'm surprised has held up as much as it has. Being that this is not real leather or anything, this is a pleather material right here, and the fact that there's anything remaining of this after what, a good 20 plus years. Let's take a look at the copyright again on this very dusty base. 2004, yeah, 2004. So yeah, 22 years old this figure, guys. Considering there's anything left of the pleather scuba bit there, it's amazing. The one thing that hasn't aged, or the one thing that has started to deteriorate a little bit, is the sheath, as you can see right there for the diving knife. Yeah, this is what happens to pleather over time, flaking, and yeah. So that's why it's really amazing that this part has actually held up. Again, this is a big figure taking up a lot of real estate, but if you got him in this dynamic pose where he's actually diving, and they actually got this very special custom sort of waist grabber just so you can get this pose. Let's see. So yeah, that actually is Connery. There is a full sculpt. You can remove the mask and the breathing equipment, and you actually do have a Connery Thunderball head sculpt. So you actually do have another variant of a Connery Bond figure here. And again, I guess the biggest piece about this is the huge Q gadget that he has there to make himself swim a bit faster and fire some missiles in the film and stuff. And yeah, keen observers will see that I have broken off, sadly, this bit right here, which is, it should be symmetrical, but yeah, this piece remains. This piece sadly broke off. I could glue it, but it's just too much of a hassle, but I do have it still laying around somewhere. But anyway, I'm never going to sell these figures because I'm too much of a Bond geek, too much of a Bond fan to ever part with these, so I'll have to pry these out of my cold dead hands if you want them. So but yeah, anyway, it's Connery from Thunderball, so yeah, that's really awesome. And again, not a film that I was the biggest fan of growing up, but I've come to appreciate this more and more over the years, and I do really love the figure, so hey, there you go. Anyway, let's go to the next Bond film chronologically, which is the figures for On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Now, I already showed a George Lazenby in a tuxedo, but I'm going to show the other Lazenby and of course his nemesis, Ernst Stavro Blofeld. And here they both are. George Lazenby in the Piz Gloria assault outfit from the end of On Her Majesty's Secret Service, with that sort of Armalite machine gun, which is sadly missing the trigger guard, but anywho, the outfit is awesome, and again, it does make this one stand out against the other suited and booted James Bond figures. And just to show you again the display basis, let's take a look at the copyright dates on these figures. 2002, so these two, yeah, both came out in 2002. I actually did have this one boxed up, so that's why this base is still not as dusty, because it's been in the box for a bit. But let's move on to the side. We have Telly Savalas as Ernst Stavro Blofeld. Of course, this makes a great pair up on the shelf. Bond against his arch nemesis. This is my favorite Blofeld interpretation. I love Telly Savalas, and I think this is a really cool sculpt. Suffering the same issue as some of the other figures though, a paint chip on the nose. Yeah. Other than that though, I think this is a really great sculpt. I mean, I think it's hard to mess up a figure which has no hair. Let's be honest. But it does have a seam across the middle of the head sculpt nonetheless. But I think the outfit is cool. Again, it is the accurate sort of outfit that he's wearing when he goes after Bond, you know, during the ski chases and stuff. He even has the little flare thing. He has this case where you can put the binoculars in. He has some hand grenades. Of course, he's having he has a gun, which is a 1911, which has the appropriate platter also. It's again also is still holding up, actually, surprisingly enough, again for a 20-plus-year-old figure. The fact that there's anything left of this platter belt and the platter material, like I said, it's amazing that this is still in the shape and the condition that it's in. And yeah, like I said, these two figures go hand in hand on Her Majesty's Secret Service. As everyone knows, I've made no secret at all in the past, or certainly not here in the present. This is my all-time favorite James Bond film, is on Her Majesty's Secret Service. I just love everything about it. The music, again, the villain, the best Bond girl with Diana Rigg, the best story overall, the best characters and depth. It's just a shame that, yes, we do have George Lazenby as James Bond. Now, I have nothing against Lazenby, but yeah, he's far from the best actor to have tackled the role, that is for sure. But if you look past Lazenby, it's a terrific film with a great location and a great winter setting. Winter locations with the mountains in Switzerland and stuff, so great ski chases. And yeah, overall, this is just my personal favorite Bond film of them all. Let's move on to the next one. Now, no company has ever been brave enough to do a figure of Diamonds Are Forever, of Connery or whatever. So the next Bond film we have to cover is Roger Moore's first outing in Live and Let Die. And we have another trio for Live and Let Die. Yes, we have, again, a mixture also of Sideshow and Big Chief Studios. Can you guess which one is the more newer version and a new Big Chief Studios one? Well, yes, you are correct. It is indeed Jane Seymour Solitaire, which is the 2019 or so when this came out figure. So better paint application standards than 2002. Great figure of a very underrated Bond girl, in my opinion, Jane Seymour in Live and Let Die Solitaire. Great head sculpt there. Now, her outfit is so meticulously detailed. It's absolutely amazing. Just take a look at the outfit, which I am seeing a little bit of dust here and there as well. Again, these figures need a cleaning, but again, that's why I'm doing this video. I figure as I was getting all of these out, I might as well finally do this video showcasing all of my action figures. Of course, she's holding a few tarot cards, which, if you are very keen in noticing, it does have that pattern on the back, which never really made much sense to me. The tarot cards had 007 on the back in the film, so that's screen accurate. It's like, why is there 007 on those tarot cards? But anyway, she comes with a full table of, again, very dusty table of tarot cards. Of course, one that's prominently displayed as the lovers. Yes, if you do go close enough, you can actually really make that out. The lovers card. She has a few stags there. She's having a little bit of a drink. Solitaire. She has a little champagne goblet, glass, whatever you want to call it. There's again, even more tarot cards in there, and the little bag there with the strings. So yeah, that's her table, and this is her drink of choice, I guess. Some Smirnoff vodka. I guess she was expecting Bond for sure. Yeah, gives us the opportunity to go down. Velvet, like boots material. Like, again, the outfit in Solitaire is probably the best thing on that entire figure. Not counting the amazing, diorama table and chair that comes with her figure. So yeah, I guess that's Solitaire. Let's go to Roger Moore as James Bond 007 in Live and Let Die. And again, he's holding, he has one of the tarot cards with him, as you guys can see right there. You zoom in there a little bit. This sly bastard, he has a spare lover's card tucked in his waist. I guess he tries to go Solitaire. Again, I know it's not the outfit for it, but hey, it's my display. Of course, this is representing him more from the finale of the film. And again, a really good head sculpt of good old Roger Moore, in my opinion. Holding the 44 Magnum, which, yeah, Bond used that in the wake of Dirty Harry, has the shoulder holster, which is splatter. And again, I am so amazed at this shoulder holster. Again, not real leather. Oh yeah, fucking spires got to him. Looks like a little cobweb remainder there, but yeah, this platter holster is still, it survived after 24 years. Yeah, when this came out 2002, I guess. Yeah, I should check the copyright on the 2003. So yeah, again, for the age, the fact that the platter, not just the holster, but the belt is platter too. The belt has survived all these years as well, and that's really amazing. As you can see, he's wearing a watch. That could be the magnetic watch from Live and Let Die, where he, anyway, Roger Moore, the turtleneck, awesome look for him. Let's complete the Live and Let Die trio with, not the main villain, but definitely an iconic villain, Teehee, played by Julius Harris. And again, I think this is a really awesome figure overall. Very wide lapels. Again, this is definitely in the 70s by now. On that jacket, very 70s. Again, those sunglasses. Again, I'm always going to be saying this: be very careful with 1/6 scale sunglasses. Like I told you earlier, my Tony Montana sunglasses broke. Luckily, that's the only pair that I've had break on these so far. So there you go. That's Teehee. That's awesome. Very awesome likeness. Again, very cool figure. Of course, the cool standout thing about this character was that he had a hook for a hand, and he used that in this particular bit that I'm capturing to feed some alligators with a chicken leg. So yeah. And yeah, he does have the base, but again, it's blocked now by the diorama of Solitaire. So this is pretty much how I always have these three displayed right next to each other, because of course it's all from the same film, Live and Let Die. And again, with Solitaire sitting in that chair and with the table, this makes for a nice piece of display on the shelf. Next film to cover is The Man with the Golden Gun. Now, we already showed you pretty much the Roger Moore representation of the Man with the Golden Gun in the white tuxedo. Now, there was another Man with the Golden Gun Roger Moore figure. I do not have that one yet. It's where he's kind of wearing more of like Roger Moore's iconic safari suit in that particular variant. I do have the main villain from The Man with the Golden Gun to show, which of course is the iconic immortal Christopher Lee as Francisco Scaramanga. So let's go ahead and bring him out right now. He has a powerful weapon. He charges 1,000,000 a shot. An assassin who's second to none. The Man with the Golden Gun. Yes, now this is not the best representation of Christopher Lee. I think the underlying sculpt, again, it is there. I think those eyes in particular, that's Christopher Lee, but I don't know, maybe this could have had a better paint job to really brush out or really, you know, highlight, I guess, all the details in Christopher Lee's face. I think another thing that's missing, Christopher Lee pretty much had like a 5 o'clock shadow in the film. That's completely absent. This guy is as clean shaven as it gets. Other than that though, it's a simplistic figure, but a neat figure. And of course, the thing that makes this stand out for sure is the titular golden gun that he is holding. And if we pan down to his base, we can see that this one also came out in 2003. So they were cranking these figures out very quick. The outfit is simple. It's just a really plain white suit, and I do love how overly bright white the shoes, the loafers are. And yeah, I do love the material of the suit. It's like very soft, very velvet feeling. Silk feeling, I guess is what I'm looking for. Silk feeling. They could have done a better job on the tie. Maybe I'll get a custom tie for him, because yeah, that thing doesn't really look good. The cuffs, if we can have the shirt cuffs out a little bit, yeah, they're there. You do have the, there's well, exactly what I'm trying to, I guess you can see it there. You do have some gold cufflinks on the cuffs of the shirt, so I guess I just have to pull those out a bit more. But yeah, that's a iconic villain in a Roger Moore film is Christopher Lee as the Man with the Golden Gun. Now I do have the next figure set up next to him, if you can already kind of guess who he is, because I purposely had him with his back to us, but he's got a parachute. Who can it be? Who can it be? He's got some metal teeth. Oh boy, oh boy, oh, he's coming closer. This guy is made very, very tall, as he should be, so it is Richard Kehoe as Jaws. Yes, let's go for a, there we go. Richard Kehoe as Jaws, he's coming to get us. This is an awesome, awesome figure. Let's just go ahead and get the details out on the metal teeth and the head sculpt in general. And again, bear in mind that this figure, let's take a look, is from 2003 as well. So obviously from Moonraker, Richard Kehoe as Jaws. So yeah, the paint job is very 2003. But, you know, you have this guy on your shelf, he's gonna stand out because, well, because he's so fucking tall, really. This is hands down, for 1/6 scale, this is the tallest figure in my collection. As he should be, because Richard Kehoe was one of the tallest people ever captured. Like, look at how tall he is next to Scarface. Christopher Lee was a tall guy, let's not forget. Yeah, they really made this guy super, super tall. Let's take a wide shot. There you go. There you go. So next to James Bond, next to Roger Moore, he's going to be towering over him. But yeah, Richard Kehoe. And again, the details are all right there. The goggles, you can of course have him, you know, I was gonna say the free moving goggles, but I've had him on there so long. You can have him like that, but yeah, why would you? The goggles don't really work that well. Of course, again, it's early 2000s, so they couldn't really have the best translucent plastic on those things. But anyway, plain white shirt. He's got the tie, and of course, he's got the rig for the parachute. 70s pants, but again, very wide bell bottoms. No socks on this one, which is surprising. A lot of these sideshow ones, like I didn't even show you that detail that this guy, for example, he has actually some socks there, some black socks. Like, that's how you tell it's a villain. He's wearing all white, but he's got black socks. Yeah, I do love the big shoes as well for him. It's they do look very, very nice, weathered and stuff. So yeah, some Roger Moore era figures, villains in particular. And I guess that closes out the Roger Moore era, sadly, because I don't have Roger from The Man with the Golden Gun in the Safari suit, and I don't have Roger from Moonraker in the space suit. Not yet, anyway. And I have already showed you my License to Kill Dalton figure, and I don't have the Robert Davi figure from License to Kill yet. Yeah, I guess that leads us into the Pierce Brosnan era. And let's go right into his very, very first big bang, which was, of course, Goldeneye. And again, we're gonna have 3 figures for Goldeneye, so here we go. And here is the Goldeneye trio of figures. Of course, we have another variant of Pierce Brosnan as Bond, this time in his final battle sort of fatigues, commando fatigues. Screen accurate everything to the film, I guess. It comes with the rifle, so it's a Bond that actually Brosnan was more of a machine gun guy in his films, wasn't he? So he does still have the wall for PPK right there. He's wearing a watch, which of course by today's standard is laughably bad how that paint job of the watch is done, but hey, you know, again, what are we talking here figure wise when this was made? 2004. There you go, 2004. And that goes for Sean Bean as Alec Trevelyan as well, and the same I guess for yeah, all 3 of these came out in 2004. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at now I've compared this to the Tuxedo Die Hard Brosnan. It looks to be the exact same sculpt and stuff, but I think the paint work on this is slightly better. But that is, again, that is just my own opinion. Now again, it's cool to have a Bond not in a tuxedo and some more of a battle gear. He does come with a few of these mines from the film that we know that I've just placed in some of his very deep functioning pockets, which is a plus for this old figure. Not many figures back then had functioning pockets, but this one pretty much everything works. Now I'm not sure in the film this is where he put his Walther PPK, but this is where the PPK fits nicely as a sidearm. So if he's out of machine gun, out of AK bullets, he can quickly grab the PPK, I guess. So that's how I've got him displayed. Let's go to, before I do on a top, let's go to Sean Bean as Alec Trevelyan, aka 006, which my version is the exclusive kind of deluxe version, which comes with 2 head sculpts, one with a scarred head and one with a non-scarred head. Now obviously the scarred head is more iconic, that's definitely more towards the end of the film. Obviously spoilers, by the way, if you haven't seen this film from 1995. But I mean, maybe I can kind of see Sean Bean in there, but for my money it's one of the worst paint jobs and head sculpts in the series. If I squint, I could make out that this is Sean Bean as Alec Trevelyan. Again, on this one it is the scarring that does help somewhat, but yeah, overall not the best figure in my opinion. This is probably the worst in the line that I have so far anyway. Again, I'm still missing a few here and there, but I actually thought it was going to be this one as the worst one, but actually this one in my opinion fares a little bit better compared to Trevelyan. Of course, Xenia Onatop, played by Famke Janssen, a Dutch actress, so yeah, Dutch pride, because yeah. Now when I saw pictures of her online, I was like, holy shit, I can't believe that they actually thought. But actually, okay, maybe on camera it's not really doing it justice, but actually to the naked eye, this actually does not look as terrible as you might think. Now, I can definitely spot Famke Janssen as Xenia Onatop in this figure, for sure. And yeah, the outfit is from pretty much her final scene in the film. She's also wearing that harness thingy from the end of the film as well. Now I got her pose kind of pulling the machine gun from her back, I guess, maybe. I don't know, I had her pose like a little model, like just holding the machine gun maybe. I'm not sure what I went with in that pose actually, but that is the pose I've got her in. And she has such a small waist that the waist grabber is barely grabbing her waist actually, so that defeats the purpose, but it's still holding her in place. And yeah, there you go, that is Famke Janssen as Xenia Onatop. And Goldeneye, and that is the Goldeneye trio right there. Let's move on to the last 2 figures I have, which are from Tomorrow Never Dies and Die Another Day. And here are the last 2 figures to show. Like I said, it's Waylon and Jinx. Tomorrow Never Dies, Die Another Day, respectively, those 2 films. So yeah, we got a representation, or well, supposed to be a representation of Michelle Yeoh and Halle Berry, but both figures, as you can maybe already tell, don't really hit the mark quite as well as some of the other figures in this line do. Now again, I do have to preface, you know, these are figures of their time. This is what, the mid 2000s, 2000 and let's see, what is the date on Michelle Yeoh here? It says 2004 for her, so yeah, this is 22 years old at this point as I'm recording this, in 2026, so I gotta cut it a little bit of slack. I guess at the time this might have been a good representation, but obviously the paint job and stuff leaves a lot to be desired in by today's standards. But the outfit is great. Let's do a quick pan down. The outfit is great, except for the boots. Again, the boots is something that looks very action man-y for, you know, and we're gonna get to that when we get to the Jinx figure. But yeah, the same stand as we always get with these. One detail that I do want to point out: if you do lift up her foot and put her in a karate pose or a kicking pose, she does actually have the ninja star, shuriken, whatever it's called, underneath her boot, both of them. And I do believe they're removable as well. So as you can see, I kind of have her in this dynamic sort of action pose where she has the knees bent and she's obviously firing the MP5, which is for the time nicely detailed. Not really too much weathering on it, but I do like the tactical vest that she has on, or above the sweater. So yeah, it's both layered. It's double layered outfit. The coolest thing, hands down, has got to be about this figure: the rooted hair. Unlike the other figures in this line and all the other figures I have, this is my only figure that I have with rooted hair. And as you can see, that means it's actual hair. You can actually work around with it and futz with it or futz around with it a bit. I usually don't do it. I usually just keep it like so. But if you want to, you can style that in whatever way you desire. Yeah, she does seem a bit short, but again, I do have the knees bent. But I do think she is overall just on a smaller body, because obviously Michelle Yeoh isn't the tallest a woman in the world. Trying to get her right. Yeah, she's not the tallest woman in the world, so obviously they would have captured that. So yeah, Michelle Yeoh, Wei Lin, Tomorrow Never Dies. Not terrible, but far from perfect. I do think she fares a bit better, in my humble opinion, compared to what is supposed to be a representation of one of my favorite women of all time, one of my all-time crushes, Halle Berry as Jinx, Jinxinta Johnson. Yeah, the paint job on this really pretty poorly done. The hair sculpt, yeah, maybe this should have been the one with rooted hair. I think it would be easy to do rooted hair when it's short. I mean, I'm not an expert. I don't know. I have to actually remove her because it wants to focus on her. Maybe I don't make figures, so I don't know. But maybe this would be easier to do in rooted hair if you just have short curly hair. I don't know, but yeah, not the greatest likeness or head sculpt of Halle Berry. Maybe the underlying head sculpt is there, with the paint job just doesn't really cut it. The outfit, it is a cool outfit in the film and stuff, and I really like it in concept. But yeah, this is the again, the early 2000s. I think this one came out in 2002. Let me check. Let's quickly pan down. Oh no, it says 2004 on there. So also 2004. Yeah, still, it's the mid 2000s, so this is definitely not a real leather outfit. This is pleather, and this one, unlike the Connery diving suit on the Thunderball figure, this one is starting to crack and stuff in places. In particular, like right there around the chest area, as you can see, there's signage. Yeah, it is coming on there. There is signage there of it starting to crack. And also in the sleeve. That's why I don't really have her in a dynamic pose anymore, because there you go. When you move this, it starts to crack, so I just leave it straight. And you can see a little bit there as well. So yeah, this outfit is not long for this world, sadly. It's not doing good at all. Maybe I should even swap out the waist grabber, because if I remove this waist grab, you'll see a lot of those cracks there as well. Same here on the back of the pants there. Yeah, the boots, again, the boots are very rubbery, Action Man doll looking. The rest of the outfit is cool. Gloved hands. The belt is actually a sculpted piece of plastic, so you're not gonna have any trouble with the belt. All the knives in there's a few of them. They are all removable, as you can see right there. And yeah, you can all put them in and out of the sheath as much as you want, because they're all removable and replaceable in there. You could have her hold one of them with this hand. It's kind of like a soft rubber hand. You can kind of, you know, squeeze it to have a grip on those knives. But again, since this outfit is starting to deteriorate, I usually don't have her moving too much. The gun is cool though. Beretta 92 FS in a silver paint job with the sort of brown gun grip. Removable and attachable silencer, or suppressor, I guess we should say, because it's not really a silencer now, is it? It suppresses the noise. It doesn't really silence anything. That's just movie magic. But anyway, those are the last two figures: Wei Lin, Michelle Yeoh, and Jinx, Halle Berry, from again Tomorrow Never Dies and Die Another Day, respectively. With that, we have covered every single action figure in my collection, be it, you know, gangsters, action heroes, you know, like Stallone and Schwarzenegger, or Bruce Willis, or Chuck Norris. We've covered the cowboys, you know, with Clint Eastwood. We covered a superhero with Wonder Woman. And then we covered all my James Bond figures. So that's about it for this one. Oh, look at that. Another figure added to the collection as I was actually editing this video. Well, I was in the process of editing anyway. So yeah, we got another one to add to our Gangster's Paradise section of the collection shelf. Now this figure, I think this was released in 2013 for the 20th anniversary of obviously the iconic Brian De Palma Al Pacino starring film Carlito's Way from 1993, and this figure was put out by Blitzway, and it's a figure that I've known of this figure's existence pretty much since it came out, but back then I did not have the funds to start collecting with these figures yet, and I didn't even know how eBay worked back then. I was still so fucking young, but I always knew of this figure's existence, and I've always been like, shit, I want that. And it took me, what, 12 years, 13 years, give or take. Yeah, but here we are. Blitzway's Carlito Brigante, Al Pacino from Carlito's Way. I've got his accessories laid out there as well to quickly show you. This is not going to be a full in-depth bit about this figure, obviously, but I do want to kind of showcase it as this one. Yeah, I just entered into my collection, so I'm just gonna zoom in first and foremost on that amazing Al Pacino head sculpt right there. Now you guys have seen two Pacinos in this video so far, the Michael Corleone Present Toys figure, and same with Tony Montana was also Present Toys. But this is an officially licensed Al Pacino figure as compared to the other two. And I mean, what can I say? The likeness is 100% there in every single, from every single angle. You can put this guy in. I do have him on a custom. Well, not, I have him on a one of my own bases because the base that he came with. Oh my God! Yeah, my hands are still sticky from touching that thing. Those who own this figure might know what I'm talking about, but that base was so sticky. I'm actually moving him from this base that I got him on because it's not really there. No, the base he came with, well, although it's a nice looking base and very nice how they did with the crotch grabber and so with the actual stand for the figure. It was too sticky. I mean, when you touch that, your hands are good. Yeah, it's not. The most marvelous thing about this figure, and again, I'm just showing you the head sculpt from a few angles, and again, for my money, it's Pacino all the way. Let me zoom out a little bit again. The most miraculous thing about this entire figure, in my opinion, is that the pleather jacket. Now, you heard me talk about the Jinx pleather outfit, how that's cracking and deteriorating. That's from 2004. Pretty much every figure. Of pretty much every collector that has this figure has the issue with the jacket flaking and peeling and stuff. This one is in pristine condition. There's no signage yet of this one starting to crack or peel or anything. So I'm very happy about finding this in this great condition for the price that I got it for. Now, I think this figure, when it came out, I think at the time these figures were about 150 bucks, 150 euros, quid, whatever currency. Obviously this figure has skyrocketed in prices ever since, and I've seen this figure go for 500, 600, and anything above that, I guess. Mine here, however, I got from Italy, from a seller in Italy, so I didn't even have to pay import charges, so I saved out on that already. And the shipping costs were very low because, yeah, it's a European country, just like mine. So what I ended up paying for this in grand total was about 320 euros, and that's the cheapest I've ever seen this guy go for. Now, the seller did not have a picture of the jacket, and I was like, oh, maybe he did that because the jacket is peeled, but no, jacket is in pristine order, so it wasn't a scam, and patience paid off, and taking a gamble paid off, because now I finally got Carlito Brigante in my collection. You know, he came with two guns, this nickel-plated 1911 with the ivory grip, which is the one that he uses in the pool hall shooting scene, the famous scene in the beginning of the film. He also came with the Beretta 92FS, which is, for the time, nicely done. I got the red dot for the safety there. I think the slide moves. Yeah, the slide does move. I think it does everything these 1/6 scale guns usually do. It is removable, and no bullet. Okay, well, maybe they didn't have that figured out yet at the time, but no bullet there, but that's okay. That's the Beretta. He also comes with a switchblade, which you can actually, if I can do that on camera, it is actually, you can actually open it up. There we go. And it actually looks to be like die-cast metal. There's actually like shine and stuff to it. I mean, it's not sharp or anything, but it looks to be actual metal, maybe the blade. So I mean, it does have that sheen and shine to it. So yeah, that's a functioning sort of switchblade. I'm gonna put it like that. He comes with his pair of shades that he wears in the beginning of the film. Not really, he doesn't really wear too much throughout the film. These are very tiny, very delicate, so I recommend caution with that. I mean, if you can still get this figure, if you get a good deal like me. But and you get a beer bottle as well, which looks to be accurate to the beer that he's drinking in the beginning of the film when he's meeting with Ronaldo Rivas, who's played by I forget the actress name, but it's the same guy that plays Hector in Scarface, the guy with the chainsaw. Anyway, I think I'm making this section on Carlito a little bit longer than I should have had, but he's a new arrival in the collection. I just wanted to show him off a little bit, as this is the first time you'll be seeing him. So and he literally just arrived as I was working on this video, and I mean, I knew I ordered him a few days ago actually. I didn't expect him to arrive this shortly. It was a 7-day delivery thing on it, so I was expecting this actually in a few days. It came a little bit ahead, but anyway, there you guys have it, Carlito Brigante. And I don't really want to touch that jacket too much, but that collar feels like it should be more like this. This is not a figure. I'm gonna keep him in this pose with the arms straight. Don't bend the arms too much. Don't have him pointing the gun at anyone, because I want to keep this jacket. I want to keep this jacket as pristine as I can, and for now it still is. So, and again, this figure came out 2013, so the fact that there is much left of this jacket in particular, it's a miracle. He also comes with a swap out shirt, by the way, but no way I'm going to be swapping the shirts out on this guy. You know, again, because of that jacket. I don't want to handle that jacket any more than I have to be honest. But he does come with a shirt that you can put on to have a representation of his look during the pool hall sequence, where I think he was wearing that other shirt that comes with this figure. The shirt he has on with the tie, I think that's more from the finale of the film. Obviously the big train station chase and action sequence, you know, where the gangsters are chasing him across the subway trains, and then he goes to Grand Central Station and stuff. I think that's more from that part of the film, but again, just have a look at that Al Pacino head sculpt. That is absolutely 100% Pacino from Carlito's Way, all the way. Yeah, it's a film that I watched again recently because, hey, it is one of my favorites, and I was anticipating this figure, so I was like, hey, let's watch Carlitos again. The hair looks great with that little strand going across there. Pacino had great hair in Carlito's Way, didn't he? Man, I'm jealous. Anyway, I think I went on long enough. Let's finally wrap this video up. So there you guys have it. That was all of my action figures in the 1/6 scale form, like I said. And yeah, I do hope you all enjoyed seeing that. I had a lot of fun getting them in front of the camera, talking about them and stuff. And yeah, now it's time to edit this massive video. There's quite a few figures there anyway, and yeah, redoing the shelves, and I've actually got in position now again. I've got all my Bond figures now right there. I got all the other ones right there. It's and the Eastwoods are by my spaghetti western bookshelf collection there that I have. So now I got all the Bonds together again, all the Bond related figures. And yeah, that's how I have it for now. I'm definitely running out of space to put them. I can think of a few more spots if I do run out. I can put them there on the television furniture set there. There's I actually got my TV hanging from the from the bracket on the wall. I do have space actually on the TV on the TV furniture and TV cabinet, so I can put them there if push comes to shove. But I think I should get a display case and yes, sometime soon to put these guys in a few display cases. But yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how I'm gonna do that with space and stuff. I might have to put them in another room if I do that, but anyway, that's a concern for later. Anyway, I do hope you all enjoyed seeing my my action figures. As if definitely I will definitely be getting a few throughout the years, and if I get it, I always do little shorts of them and stuff. And so yeah, do keep an eye out on my shorts feed, whatever the proper term is. Yeah, there's a few that I've got on pre-order, a few that I've got coming. So anyway, that is my collection as of right now. As of I'm recording this in March of 2026. So yeah, this is as of right now. So stay tuned for further updates to this part of my collecting habits, my collecting kicks, I guess. Anyway, that's it for now. Stay safe. Keep punching. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care.